What is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. I am Brandon D, as you can see on my shirt. Oh, this side. Y'all see it. I know you see it. But, yeah.
And I am Camille A. Stalker. It don't say it on here.
Not on there.
Not on this one.
Yeah, this is a new edition. You feel me? Yeah. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about
raising girls, daughters.
Yes, indeed. And let me tell you, man, it's hard out here in today's world. It is very hard to raise little girls that don't walk around like other girls. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what's going on out here. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
You got the little girl. What was the girl we were talking about yesterday?
Yesterday.
The one that sang that Pound Town song.
Oh.
The one that looked like Young Thug.
That would be funny. Cause Dirty Red? No.
Yeah.
It's Sexy Red.
Yeah, whatever her name is. She ain't too sexy to me. She look pretty dusty. But one major thing I need my girls to know is confidence doesn't come from anything on the outside. Mm-hmm. Beauty does not come from anything on the outside. I need them to know, first off, that cosmetics and fakery does not make you beautiful. That is something that is on the inside that you do for yourself. You make yourself feel beautiful. No one should be you shouldn't be walking around hoping for people to tell you you're beautiful. You shouldn't be putting on makeup and then saying I'm beautiful. You shouldn't be adding all of these enhancements to make you beautiful. Beautiful is something that comes from God, basically, on the inside. Mm-hmm. And people walking around doing these things, it's kind of confusing to younger girls or impressionable girls who are coming up and looking at all these celebrities and these actresses. Mm-hmm. Do they call them actors? Women are actors still? Anyway. Actresses, all of these people that are famous or influencers, they go on camera and they make it seem like the way that they look is what makes them.
You know, that's interesting because you said that. And this weekend, the Barbie movie came out. And so if you look at Barbie, right? If you look at what Barbie portrays when you go purchase the doll, but now you're seeing that, what's her name? Margot Robbie is portraying Barbie, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, like this perfect image. And then you think about how many women that are going to take their daughters to see that and like emulate, like, this is how I should look, but that's not how you should look because it's fantasy.
It's made up.
It's not real. And we push this on, little girls. You see that, like you see that, like you're saying about celebrities and actresses and stuff, because she is an actress, Margot. I think it's Margot Robbie. I'm not sure.
Whatever her name is.
But the one who's playing Barbie, and you see that, and it's just like, well, I want to be like her when I grow up. Well, what's her eating regimen, right? What does she look like in real life? Because she's playing a role.
Absolutely. These are the things that we can't see, but we're basing our beauty and our confidence off of superstitious things.
Yes.
Things that aren't real.
It's not real. And then it's like a fanny dooley, I like to use. It's a contradiction when women, as mothers, we put this on and then we can tell our daughters, well, you don't have to do this. Well, if I see this, then that's what I'm going to do. Last week I was talking about how my mother was a lady, right? My mama, look, and don't come for me because this is what happened for me, okay? So you can't tell me what happened in my childhood with my mama, all right? So my mama and how I grew up, my mother did not wear fake hair. I've never saw my mama wear fake nails. I never saw my mama like wear a face full of makeup. Now she might have put on some
blush or something.
Eyeshadow. I don't even know what it's called. Some lipstick, you know. But it was never a thing like the most luxurious thing that I saw my mama do was go get her hair done every week. a press and curl, and I thought it was like the most beautiful thing. And so then
that's a big thing, showing your daughters, because a lot of these children, their parents aren't even taking the time to show them.
Right.
And then they got that, you remember that saying, do as I say and not as I do?
Right.
That's almost like throwing in a doggone disclaimer. You shouldn't be doing this because you see me doing it. You should do what I'm telling you to do.
Right. So,
and children are visual learners. So if you're not visually showing them how a woman should be, or how they should dress, how they should act, they're going to go to someone who is visibly showing them. And most of the time, that visible representation is not one that's favorable to a young girl that's growing up.
Right. And even he said, how she would dress as well. It was very modest, but she was always like in fashion, and then like in style is what I mean, not in fashion. But then when I grew up, you know, I would wear, her motto was, if you're going to wear it, you know, wear it with confidence, because, you know, you're 20 something years old, you do wear the shorts, and I would wear I wore what was in, but she was like, if you're going to wear it, you know, wear it with confidence. But I wasn't wearing anything like crazy or anything. But I make that point about my mama because now I am, like I said last week, I don't wear makeup and all of that stuff. Like if I'm going out and something, yes. But one of the biggest things that I felt that my girls had to embrace was how our hair is, right? I just said my mama would do press and curls, and today I am in a natural state. My hair is in its natural state. It's curly. It's kinky. I don't know if it's kinky. I'm gonna say it's coily. Right. And so raising girls who have, they have hair, they're in their natural state, I have to be like, ain't nothing wrong with your hair, because it isn't, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with your hair. And they see my hair, they see it twisted up. I want it twisted. All right, let's twist it up. I want it like this. All right. With raising these girls, I have to find ways to make their hair, you know, cool, or what it is that they want to do, because other people hair, you know, well, that little girl's hair is like this or whatever, you know, representation. And it does matter. It matters because of the state our hair is in. But I'm stuttering. I just teach my girls, this is your hair. It's yours. You do what you want to do, but you're not going to walk around and be looking,
And I think we have that representation matters thing kind of screwed up, because yes, it matters, but there should be no more of an influence on your children than you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be actively teaching your daughter or even your son how to act, how to carry themselves, how you got to have conversations with them so they have a reference, because there's nothing that makes any kind of child, a man, a boy or a girl, nothing makes them more vulnerable than not having a reference to something that's going on. Especially, it may not be for ours because we're homeschooling our daughters, but out there in the world, if they don't have a reference to the things that are being told to them, if they don't have someone who's told them something, mentioned a conversation that could be had in school that they got from home, that could be, they need some kind of a reference. Yeah. They can't be out here just listening to random people say random things, because they'll start believing those things. And if they don't have someone who they confide in, someone who they trust, telling them these things, then they'll be vulnerable to anything.
Yeah, I thought back to when I was in elementary school, because I had the representation, right? I had my mother, right, with her. Well, in this story that I'm going to tell, her hair was straight. Mine wasn't straight. I had the little ponytails and stuff, all, you know, the plaits over my head. So I went to a elementary school that was majority Hispanic. I was the only little black girl, so I didn't see my hair anywhere else. I didn't see it nowhere else. So I
shouldn't have seen it nowhere else. It should have been on your head now.
It was, but I was at
your
school.
Type of hair.
I was untwisting my hair because their hair was just hanging, right?
Yeah.
Their hair was just flowing. And so I would untwist it, and I did it one time. I didn't do it another time because I got in trouble, and my mom was, I don't know if I got whooped or not, but I remember that I never touched my hair again. And I remember Ava going to school, and I remember her hair coming back, and it wasn't twisted the way I had twisted it. Us mothers know. And it was like, wait, what are you doing? Well, so-and-so had their hair loose, and that's when I knew I needed to tweak not always having plaits. Okay, let's twist it out, and you have a twist out. Let's do a puff. Let's figure this out. I wanted it to be different so she didn't feel left out or not even left different. Out. Just, she could change her hair. Well, let me show you can change yours too, right?
Yeah. You don't need yours to look like that in order for it to be different.
Right. That was a challenge because, and I don't even think I thought back, well, what did my mama do? No, because I was still wearing plaits, right? So it didn't matter. It was just the thing of, that's not what you do because that's not who you are, and that's not when you left this house. Like this isn't what this is what like. Right. Yeah. And so I think I might have taken that lesson and just like, okay, well, I do have you in your natural state, but this is how we're
and that's
going
that reference that we were speaking about. Mm-hmm. They need that in order to know that you are not like everybody else. Right. There's certain things that you can do or can't do that other people can or can't do. Mm-hmm. So,
and it builds confidence. With raising girls, there needs to be some level of confidence.
There needs to be a lot of confidence,
and not depend on someone to tell you, like you were saying at the beginning, you are beautiful, or all these other things.
Because if you feed off of that, that's what you're going to be yearning for, and then you'll fall for any kind of foolishness because people will notice these things, especially men or boys who are actively seeking girls. If they see that you seek acceptance from other people, mm-hmm. they'll start giving you things so you accept them. Mm-hmm. And that is dangerous. Yeah. Very, very dangerous because boys can be very manipulative, especially when there's something that they want, they like.
I just said that about Isabel yesterday to you. I said, not that she's, how empathetic she is. Yeah. She cares a lot. She cares a whole lot. Much. She cares shit. And that could be a great thing, and that could be a terrible thing.
We need to teach her how to turn it on and off.
Yep.
Have discretion on who to turn it on and off with.
Like, yes, because you can, and I think I did. I had a very big just caring. I want to help. I want to help. Yeah. And then it comes a time when you do help so much, and someone like just
keeps taking.
Right. So that's one of the big lessons that it's like, how do I teach my youngest that you care about people? That you do care, but you have to draw a line.
Absolutely.
With, like you were saying,
you gotta have some boundaries.
You have to have boundaries. Yeah. It's okay to care and want. Your heart is, whatever. That's
people
cool.
People are naturally manipulative.
And they're like me. My children, I'm not gonna say they're not like you, but they are like me. They could be naive about some things. And with me as the mother, I'm trying to figure out, how do I not allow them to be naive? Yeah. And that comes into, I talk to them, right?
I think it's also important for me to let them know what really goes on out in these streets. Because from a boy's perspective, I can speak to them about that. Mm-hmm. So they know when it comes at them that, my daddy told me about that. Yeah. My daddy told me about you. Yeah. I know what this is. Yeah. And they can act accordingly.
So that was one of my biggest things, because they're children right now, right? But they have to grow up. And so it's like, how do I raise them? And then eventually I can't shield them from everything. Yeah. They have to go out. Like,
you don't really want to shield them from anything. You want to have all of these conversations. Yeah. You need to expose them to all of these things. So when they do make a mistake, it won't be just head over heels.
I was listening to a homeschool parent man, and he was saying and this was interesting because it was similar to how my mama was. He said he didn't set a curfew for his children because he didn't want them. He needed them to make the decision.
Absolutely.
Of, oh, you know what?
Responsibility.
And my mama did that with me. But then I was thinking, like, how old the girls are right now. There are certain things I'm just like, you got to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to figure it out because I can't, we homeschool. So one of the things is with math, which I see a lot of parents like, I sit there with my child all day and they're still not doing it or whatever. So So I was like, here's what we're going to do. Y'all going to take y'all's math work and you're going to sit and you're going to read it and you're going to figure it out.
Absolutely.
If you cry, that's on your account. And not because I did anything or you, mommy, didn't do. Nope.
That's all on you.
So you're going to go and you're going to figure it out. And the other day, Ava came in and she was like, she started like, did she cry? She didn't cry, but she was just frustrated. I was like, well, did you read it? Did you reread it? What do you do? I said, I'll read the problem to you, but I'm not about to sit here and I'm not going to help you. And so she went and she figured it out. And she was like, it took me a while. I was like, yeah, get out your feelings. And that's one of the big things that I tell them.
Once you get out your feelings, you can begin to think rationally, logically. But your feelings will get in the way. That when you start crying, you can't think about nothing. When you get angry, you can't think about nothing.
I guess she did it, and then that little one. Don't get me started.
Lord,
I love mercy. My children. I love my youngest.
They some crazy.
She gonna cry because she's just gonna cry because I don't know if it's the youngest syndrome. Is there a youngest syndrome?
She got a little sibling complex.
But she is something else, and it's not hard raising children, but you're on your toes.
You have to be attentive.
You have to be attentive.
I'm trying to tell you. You have
to talk. You have to say. You have to have conversations. I had a conversation with how I do it. We have Bible study, and right now we're in Judges. Now I know I haven't said it in a while, but we're in Judges, and when we read, after we read, I run down what they're supposed to do, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have a little speech. And he was like, I love when you have your speeches. I'm like, okay, girl.
Show you right.
I'm so glad that you are enjoying this. I enjoy it too, but I'm talking to y'all because I don't need y'all caught up in what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I need you to use your brain.
Your individuality.
Use your brain. Be a leader, because don't go out there trying to follow everybody. Be a leader. And if you
folks will lead you right over the cliff.
Right over. Somebody be like, well, is that what you were taught?
Yeah.
Is that what we taught
That's
you?
That's what I'm talking about reference.
Is that what we taught
you? People that they confide in.
I was like, even if somebody comes to you and they're telling you something wrong, give them what it is for real.
Yeah.
And I said, even if they leave you alone, you know that you were being truthful with them. And you
standing in your confidence in knowing what's right and what's wrong.
And it's hard because that's how
because there's a lot of wrong out here.
There's a lot. And people don't want to
prosecute you. Or is it persecute?
Persecute.
People will persecute. People will persecute you off of things that they don't see your
as
point of view.
As a problem.
Yeah.
They don't view it as a problem, and I think I would always say one of the biggest things I think both Brandon and I are doing to raise them is to teach them to love people, right? But in our teaching them to love people, it's not to just be,
I love you. I feel love for you. No,
it is. I got to be truthful with you.
Yeah, I gotta tell you the truth.
What you
love
doing,
is telling you the truth.
It's telling the truth. What you doing that ain't right? And so, I think they got it. Of course, you have to continue to have. It's not a one-time thing. But you have to continue to just have conversations with them.
Because out there in that world, people are going to come at them over and over and over again, and you have to counteract all of that, because once they get out there, they out there. Mm-hmm. Now they'll come back and you can still have those conversations, but there's no telling how many times somebody's going to come at them once they get out there like that.
Yeah. Discernment and teaching discernment. I was like, I think I was telling you, I was like, I don't know how to teach discernment. Like, but I am teaching it because there are certain conversations that Ava is having with friends, right? But she has discernment to come and tell me, well, mommy, this was said. This is what. Okay, well, this is what it is.
And most of the time, she tells us in a way that I don't think this is right. It's unsure about the legitimacy of it.
Like, well, what do you think? She said, yeah. And then she told me when I talked to her about this situation, she said, I think Isabel knows. And I was like, okay, well, if she knows, she's not going to say anything. Because even when I was talking, Isabel was like, I was like, do you understand? She said, yes, I understand. I'm like, okay. It was, I think I believe she does understand. So it's interesting raising them and the way that they do take on what we are saying. It's interesting. I didn't know that it would turn out this way. As a matter of fact, I never thought about it. Right? I was just being a parent. I'm just being the mom. I wake up and I'm being the mom. I'm just, who is your first teacher? I'm their first teacher. I am the one who should be teaching them everything until they can go out into the world, like you were saying, and maneuver the way that they want to maneuver. Because once they are gone, I won't have any say. Now, I think one of the biggest things that I see from my childhood is I can go talk to my mama, right? There are some things about anything, but there's some things that I just be like on the surface with because I'm like, I already know. And so I pray that when they are 32 and married, if they, that they can come and say, well. But
I think we're already building the foundation for that.
Yeah.
Because if we're having a conversation with them about everything, they will be confident in knowing that they can return that with us. They can come back and talk to us about anything. Because if that's what you're teaching, if that's what we're showing, then I think that will resonate for the rest of their lives.
And it's crazy because everything, like some of the things that I learned at school, right? So when we were raising girls, so eventually there's going to be periods, right? There's like with all this. And then I remember because we had a book, there's this book I bought and we're going to be talking about it. And I was like, well, I was nervous. I'm like, man, why the heck you nervous? Because, this is life. This is what's going to happen. And they was just like, they were just talking. Yeah, we get it. I know you have this book. We can go. Yes, we want you to go over it with us. And I was like, well, all right. Well, you do the Jim Carrey thing. All right. Right. So I was like, okay, cool. So it's pretty doggone cool. It's pretty doggone cool to have that open dialogue with them. Now, we're not going all the way deep into,
there's a certain age. Yeah. They have to hit a certain age. They have to kind of experience stuff in order for you to have that conversation. Because, like I said, with the being confident enough to speak about certain things, they have to actually have gone through it. Just like the situation with their friends.
That was.
Because you can tell them about it, but then they won't have any reference to what you're really saying.
Right.
But if they go through that situation and then come to you and be like, well, this, and this happened, well, then you can debunk all of the foolishness.
And like you said, Ava knew, but it was like for me to validate that, and she was like, okay, I knew it. Yeah. I was like, and then I went into a whole spiel, like, well, if this happens, don't be surprised, like I was just kind of forewarning them if you and then an incident today that had happened. We were at the store and Isabel wanted to go down the Lego aisle and I said, nope, because I want to get out of this store. But she comes home And
get in her feelings.
She was crying. What the heck you crying for? Like, who did something to you? We chilling. And she told me that I did not listen to her about the Lego. You didn't listen to me in the store. What?
First off, who told you I'm supposed to listen?
What? No, because I do listen, but I ain't about to listen.
I'm talking about
that mess.
Commands.
Like, do you listen to me all the time? Huh? Do you? When you're told to do something, do you listen? And I'm gonna
start throwing a fit when you tell me to do something.
I cut into her a little bit, and then after you cut into a child, when I say cut into, I fuss. I don't be whooping really, but I had to fuss at her because it's like, you think that I owe you something by going down that Lego aisle. That's not what we went in there for. Absolutely I ain't going there for toys. Do you have the money? Okay, then you shut up.
And you shouldn't expect to go down do what you want to in the store all the time anyway.
All the time.
Now,
anyway,
we do give you those liberties, but at the same time, if it's already told to you what we are doing, don't come at us about what you want to do.
I was like, what? Are you serious? You didn't listen to me while I was in the store. So you crying because y'all, literally, it was 30 minutes later. Not even joking.
Like it just came over
her. It hit her all of a sudden. Hit her. Mommy told me I couldn't. I said I shoot this.
Goodness gracious.
You not like, and what we not about to do. So I got into it a little bit. So that's one of the things of raising girls. Like, you think you entitled? Because you are not.
That's raising children. That ain't got nothing to do with just girls. Boys will be on it even worse.
You think what? Because that's not what we doing. That is not what we're doing. And you tried it.
It wasn't successful.
And I guess what else bothered me is because you had this beautiful day and you got something like for free.
You almost felt like you needed to mess it up.
She messed it up. Even her sister was like, I don't know why she's crying. I asked her, is it because we left? No. It's just like, and then she wanted to stand there and like not open her mouth and say what was wrong. But you gonna make me upset.
Because I'm talking to you and
you're not
you ain't
saying
answering.
anything. Like, what? Yeah. What? Because I didn't listen to you. I listen to your behind every day.
Even when I don't want to.
And because you couldn't get some Lego.
Or even walk down the Lego aisle.
I wasn't doing it.
We ain't want to look at no Legos today.
I ain't want to be in that store. Let's go.
It was hot. We trying to go to the highs.
I was hot. Yeah. So, girl, you better move on.
Yeah, goodness.
That's raising daughters, girl.
Straight up.
That's how a day goes.
Absolutely.
There's some good and some bad.
Yes, and then you move around.
Get out of my face.
Yeah, but it's not easy out here raising girls, especially girls that are respectable human beings, and not out here on this hoochie mama stuff, talking about hoochie mama things.
When they see stuff like clothes. That, they're like,
in awe, just like the girl we seen with the factory booty.
Did they see that?
I don't know if they saw it, but that was a straight up store-bought booty.
They are in awe. They ain't never seen nothing like that. Look, man, me and my children, we listen to gospel.
Straight up. Thank you, Jesus, for your music.
We got a whole, not a soundtrack.
Ain't no BET going on in here because all of that is foolishness.
I don't watch any of that.
Man, most of the stuff that comes on TV is foolishness.
We don't have access to that.
Not at all. But raise your children right. If you got girls, teach them how to act out here. Don't be talking about doggone Pound Town and all that foolishness, because that ain't gonna get them nowhere in this world. But we want to thank everybody who we came to the end of it.
Yeah,
we here, and thank you to everybody who continues to lock in with us. We will be back next week. If you got any value from this episode, please hit that subscribe, like, and share, all that good stuff to help us grow, because we're trying to keep it moving. And these are the conversations that need to be had, not all that other craziness. But like always, it's love, peace, and soul. Bye. Like Soul Train, baby.